I'm in my living room making this video. And I haven't made a video from the living room for a while. Let me just get the camera set up a little bit differently. So my sister came to Japan on Sunday, and I met her at Yokohama Station on the platform. And we went to her hotel, and navigating on the street, using the app, trying to remember what I saw on Google Maps Street View, and we were able to find it, no problem. That part of the station area, the northeast exit A, so it's past Bay Quarter. I never go there, so I don't know my way around there very much. But if you find Bay Quarter and you go out of the right exit from Bay Quarter, it's just around the corner, so it's pretty easy to get there. And then I stayed in the hotel that night, and Liana stayed in her room. I stayed in my room. We were neighbors. And Monday, we got up and went to Minato Mirai, and we checked out everything. Liana sent me her step counter and everything. We were together, so we walked about almost 16 kilometers. We walked over around 25,000 steps. And I felt it. That was a lot of walking. And in the morning it was cool and comfortable, and then in the afternoon it got hot. I've got some red on my neck, but I never get tanned. I just turn red, and then I turn white a couple days later. So I'm pretty much back to my normal color. And that was fun. We went to Landmark Tower. We went to Queen's Square. We swung around past Cosmo World. We went through World Porters. We went to Akarenga, and we did kind of a back and forth thing. We went back to Landmark Tower to have lunch at Bubby's, and then we went back to World Porters to get something from a gacha machine for Fiona. And yeah, we just walked around, saw lots of things, interesting things. So in World Porters, I came across a shop that sold a lot of Odekake Kozame plushies, some that I hadn't seen before, so I'll have to swing back there and get some more plushies for my collection. But that was quite a nice day, and then we swung back. We were going to hit Osambashi Pier, but honestly, I was really tired, and I kept wanting to sit and rest. And then it's lucky that we didn't, because we would have walked to Osambashi Pier. The sun was already going down. We could hear thunder rumbling from time to time. Then we went back to Yokohama, and we found Bay Quarter, and we went to a Hawaiian burger place there, which was quite yummy. And then we got a bit mixed up on the street because we exited the wrong side of Bay Quarter, but with the navigation app and everything, using Bay Quarter as a reference point, we found our way to the hotel. We actually came from the other side of the street, so we went out the back end of Bay Quarter instead of the front end. So it wasn't a right and a right that was taking us away. So it should have been a right and a right, but we went a right and a right, which is actually going away from where the hotel was. But we figured it out, and we got there. And then it's lucky that we didn't go to Osambashi Pier, because maybe about 10 minutes after we got to the hotel, it just started pouring. It rained really hard, so that was fortuitous that we gave up Osambashi Pier. That was Monday. Then on Tuesday, we got up really early because we had a bus tour, and I recommend this. I think it's called Tokyo Panoramic Tours, or Tokyo Panorama Tours. But it was a really nice bus tour. I haven't done any traveling in Japan for more than 20 years. Around 2001, I think I kind of stopped taking trips. And now I've got that bug. I'm infected. I want to go and see some more places. And there are a lot of places around Kanagawa that I've been meaning to go to, but you don't feel the same urgency when you live somewhere that you do when you're visiting as a tourist, because when you're a tourist, this is your one chance to do that. But if you live there, you always feel, I can do that later. And I put off a lot of things. But I think I want to scratch those itches. And I'd like to find some more bus tours. There's a nice bus tour around Tokyo by the same company. I might try that. It's just an interesting way to spend a day. So we got up early, and I'd planned for us to get to the station around 6:15, and then get a train straight to Tokyo Metro Line Ginza Station, which is where the meeting point we wanted to go to was. However, we got a bit mixed up on the street, and it was quite early, so a lot of things I might have used as reference points weren't open, they weren't turned on, and there were not a lot of people moving around that we could follow. So by the time we got to the station, that 6:15 had just left. That was on Tokaido Line, and then the next train was at 6:39. And I thought, the distance that the 15 was from Tokyo Metro Line Ginza Station, and then thinking about our meeting point, we should have enough time to get there. But then I kept thinking, but the trains are weirder. They're weirder this early in the morning. They're just different. So I whipped out my phone and I checked it, and I used a train route finder, and this particular train wasn't going to get there in 30 minutes. It was going to get there in about an hour. We'd be late for the tour. So I quickly looked for other routes, and I found one Yokosuka Line would go to Shimbashi, and then we would change to Tokyo Metro Line, and it's just one stop from there to Ginza. So I said, we got to run. This is the wrong place. And then we ran, and we got to Yokosuka Line about 30 seconds before the train we needed left, and we jumped on the green car. And then just after that, the doors closed, and we just shifted over into a normal car, which was, fairly crowded and slowly got more crowded because it's just before the big rush hour time. But if I hadn't checked my phone, if I hadn't had second thoughts and doubted that this was the right choice, I wouldn't have gotten us to Yokosuka Line, and we would have missed the tour completely. So thank God my instincts kicked in, because I rarely go into Tokyo. I don't use the train lines in that direction, but I just knew something was off about waiting for that train, and we just squeaked in. And after all that, smooth as butter for the rest of the day. We went past the Imperial Palace area, and then we went to Shinjuku, the Love Statue, to pick up more members of the tour. And then we're out on the highway. First, we went to Mount Fuji, and a couple days before, the 5th station had opened for tourists. You still can't climb it until July because there's still snow, but we went up to the 5th station. And Mount Fuji is another one of those things. If you live here, you don't feel the same urgency as a tourist might. So that was my first time actually setting foot on Mount Fuji itself. So now I've been to that 5th station, and it felt a bit like Banff, like a tiny, tiny version of Banff. Not so many shops and souvenir places, just a few buildings. And it was quite cloudy, so we couldn't really get a good look at Mount Fuji, even though we were actually on it, so we could see Mount Fuji. But I'm driving in and driving back. There were a few glimpses, but Mount Fuji is a pretty shy mountain, especially this time of year, so we didn't get a good look at it. But it was nice to be up there. We went to a shrine. And on the bus tour, our guide's name was Aoi. So she said, call me Blue, and then she held up what she said was her Mini Blue, which is this little Mount Fuji figure. So a lot of people on the bus bought this or a smaller version of it, and I'm one of them. So it's a nice soft little plushie. I'll unwrap this later, but I've got my Mini Blue. And at the back it says Japan 3776. That's the height of Mount Fuji in meters. And while I was there, I came across some Chiikawa products. So they had, that's my bus tour sticker. They had a Chiikawa figure, and they had a Hachiware figure. But unfortunately, no Usagi figure, which I would have liked. So later I bumped into the guide, and I showed her my Mini Blue, and she was really thrilled that I got that. And I also pulled these out, and I said they had some Chiikawa goods, so I got Chiikawa and Hachiware. But they didn't have Usagi, because Usagi is my favorite, and she got really excited and popped open her bag and pulled out her own Usagi. character, like a little plushie. And that wasn't from Mount Fuji. That's just something she carries with her because she loves Usagi. And we were Chiikawa buddies. And we got another guy and his son. He's from the States, and his son is 11. And we talked about it a lot with the guide, and they sat next to us, so the son was kind of interested, and they wound up getting a Chiikawa, a Hachiwari, and an Usagi at another place we stopped at. They weren't like Mount Fuji specific, but so I've got some more little plushies, and I picked up this Mount Fuji t-shirt that I haven't unwrapped yet, so I'll break this baby out and give it a test spin. It says extra large, but extra large in Japan doesn't always mean the same thing as it does in Canada. So anyway, after going around the top of the fifth station of Mount Fuji for about half an hour to an hour or so, we headed back down to have lunch at this ninja-themed restaurant. And just as we were approaching the ninja-themed restaurant, we passed by a glamping area, and I found it online. Now, the minimum is 2 people, so there's a price per person, but a minimum of 2 people, because each glamping thing holds 4 to 6 people. So I don't think I can go by myself. But it's right by the ninja-themed restaurant. We had a nice buffet lunch, and I looked around the ninja garden they had there. Then we're back on the bus, and we went to Hakone, took some ropeways up over the active volcano. We stopped by the place where you can buy the black eggs that can give you 7 extra years of life. And that's become a real touristy area. They've got a black egg kind of statue you can pose with and take pictures of. And they've got all kinds of things, including a black egg plushie with this really adorable smile. But I didn't buy it. If I do go back there, I probably will, because I'm kind of getting a lot of plushies. And then we took another ropeway down to Lake Ashi, Ashinoko. And that was the first place I visited in Japan. That's the first place I went to for a trip. And I went there again a couple other times. I think I went there with Mom and Tanis. I don't know if you guys remember that, if you're watching this. That was my 3rd or 4th time to Lake Ashi. But as I said, I haven't been on any kind of trip in about more than 20 years. But it was interesting to go to Odawara again, and it was interesting to go to Lake Ashi again. And we got on a pirate ship, and we went on the Lake Ashi cruise, from one dock where the ropeways are to the other dock, which is kind of closer to where I remember going and staying. Maybe that's where the train station is, I'm not sure. And then we got back on the bus, and we went to Odawara Station, and we had the return by Shinkansen pass. And from Odawara to Yokohama, it's only about 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. So there are 3 stops if you use that particular Shinkansen. I think it was the Hikari, or it might have been the Kodama. But I think that was Liana's first time on a Shinkansen. And one came roaring past on a different platform, and it startled her. It came by so fast, it made a lot of noise. But they do go 250, 300 kilometers per hour when they're at full speed. But from Odawara to Yokohama in, 10 to 12 minutes, I can go to Odawara anytime. For me, walk to the station, take the Yokohama line to Yokohama. It's only 3 stops. And then boom, Shinkansen, I'm in Odawara. So I can go to Odawara, Atami, Hakone, Lake Ashi. I can get onto Mount Fuji. There's a lot of things I can do. Yokohama is a nice place to set off from. So I thought I can get off at Yokohama, but Liana can go one more stop to Shinagawa, then find the Tokaido line and go back to Yokohama. And then just before the train pulled in, I thought, why am I so stupid? And I said, Liana, get all your stuff. And she came, and we got off together in Yokohama, because she can get the Yokohama line and be in Yokohama in 10 minutes. Why make her go all the way to Shinagawa, try to find the Tokaido line, then get all the way back to Yokohama Station? So that was my fatigue. But I figured it out, and I walked her to the platform, and I helped her get on a train, and I said, when you're going to Yokohama, when you're using Yokohama line, you want to go to Yokohama, you want to go to Seacrh Gicho. If there's a blue train, don't touch it. just get on the green ones, because the green trains are Yokohama line and they'll go where you want to go. The blue ones won't. They will stop at Higashikanagawa sometimes, or they'll go somewhere else. So just avoid Keihin Tohoku line and you won't have as many headaches. Stick with Yokohama line. But we were in touch later in the evening, and she got back to the hotel safely. Her phone had died, so she charged her phone up, but she got back to the hotel, had a nice dinner, and then yesterday, Wednesday, she got Shinkansen tickets and made her way to Osaka, where she stayed last night. And then today, she met her friends. They were coming in yesterday night. And then today's Thursday, so they got up early, went to Hiroshima, and now they're, she messaged me, hi Liana, they're on their way back to Osaka. And I'm not sure the rest of their agenda. I'll talk to Liana later this evening. But that has been a very eventful couple of days for me. Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday. It's great to have family in Japan. It hasn't happened since, I think, like 96, 97, when Mom and Tanis came. And that's the only time I've been visited by family. Sean Style came here. Prior to that, when I still lived in Sigamiyono, that would have been 92, 93, maybe even 94, somewhere around there. And Neil Shoemaker, we hooked up for an afternoon when he was visiting Japan with his now wife. That was just before Corona kicked off, maybe the summer of 2020, or else I think it was the summer of 2020. I don't think it was 2019. So it might have been the summer 20. No, it would have been. It wouldn't have been 2020 because that was when Corona started. So it would have been 2019 or maybe 2018. I have to check my photo album on Facebook. Legitimate Pie. Liana had legitimate pie. I took her to Bubby's. I didn't get any because I wanted to get it out and take it home, but we're going to be on a bus tour and everything else, so it just wasn't the right thing to do. But I'll get to Seacrh Gicho again and I'll do that. So I got my Chiikawa plushies. I got my Mount Fuji plushie. Got my Mount Fuji t-shirt. I scratched some of the traveling itch. But I'm infected and I want to travel some more. So hopefully I'll get out and about. Maybe some places around Yokohama first. And then maybe that Tokyo bus tour. It was quite fun. I had a good time. But thank you for watching. And maybe I'll put a link in the description of this video for that tour company. If you're in Japan and you're interested, I thought it was pretty good. You should check it out. And if you can, try to get Aoi-chan. Try to get Blue as your guide. She was really fun. Ciao.